Welcome, fifth graders, to Spelling Today. We get to play a fun game together today, and I wanted to introduce that to you, and I'm going to be giving you some clues. So the first thing I need you to do is find your list for Unit 4 in your spelling book. Looks like this. Now, on the camera, you can see it a little bit, but it's kind of fuzzy, so that's why I want you to look at your list. Now, I'm going to give you 20 seconds to look at this list. So go ahead and flip there now and just look over those words really closely. Get them in your head. Be thinking, what do they mean? Think of all the work that you've done with them this week. Think of their definitions, because in this game you need to know the definitions. So go ahead, 10 more seconds, finish up looking at those words in your book and flip. Hurry and flip to page 40. Okay, it should look like this. And it's called How Good Is Your Memory? Now the directions for this game are, I'm going to give you a clue, and I'm just going to read that clue from the numbered list. So if you remember the word from your list without looking, you can write it down the first time. If you have to go back and look after I give the clue, then you have to write it on the second line under the I looked for the word. So can you see that there? If you remember it the first time, you can write it right here under I remember the word. If you remember it after you've looked it up, you have to write it on this line, I looked for the word. Okay, so here we go. Number 1, what is the contraction for I will? Write that down if you remember it. If you have to go look it up, you can write it on that second line. Okay, and you can pause the video if I'm going too fast for you and you don't have a chance to write, but I'll give you a few seconds to write each one down. Okay, number 2, you do this when you finish high school. What is a word that you do when you finish high school? Okay, if you didn't remember it right away, go look it up and write down that word. Number 3, what is a group of people gathered for a purpose? What word would describe a group of people gathered for a purpose? If you don't remember, go back and look and put it on the second line. Okay, number 4, 10 of these equal about 6.2 miles. If you don't remember, go back and look. Okay, number 5, this word means the same as island. Ooh, it's kind of an abbreviation for the word island. I showed you a picture of it on day 1. Okay, if you don't remember, go back and look at your list. Number 6, what is data? Is there a word on the list? What is data? It's kind of a tricky one. If you don't remember, go back and look at your list and find a word. Number 7, what does a magnet have for iron or steel? Is there a word on your list that describes what a magnet has for iron or steel? If you don't remember, go back and look. Number 8, you walk down this in the grocery store. It's another one of those spelling danger words that I showed a picture of in the beginning. If you don't remember, you can go back and look at your list. And number 9, what you do when you close your eyes and get rid of tension and stress. So close your eyes, get rid of tension and stress. Is there a word on your list that has that definition? If you remember, write it down. If you don't, go back and look. And number 10. You do this when you admit to having done something wrong. So a word that means admitting something you've done wrong. Go back and look if you don't remember. Okay, hopefully if you're not done yet, go ahead and pause and make sure that you have each question answered. And I'm going to go through those answers with you to make sure that you have the correct ones. Okay, so for number 1, what is the contraction for I will? You should have gotten I'll. Capital I, apostrophe L-L. Okay, now put a star if you got it correctly the first time. Okay, number 2, you do this when you finish high school. You should have written the word graduate. Okay. Number 3, what is a group of people gathered for a purpose? That one is congregation. Remember, when a group of people are gathered together to do something, it could be anything, it's called a congregation. Okay, number 4, 10 of these equal about 6.2 miles, and that word is a kilometer. So put a star next to it if you got that one right. Number 5, this word means the same as an island, and it's one of those spelling dangers. Isle, spelled I-S-L-E. Okay. Number 6, what is data? So another word for data, you should have written information. Okay, remember to put a star if you're getting these right. Number 7, what does a magnet have for iron or steel? It's kind of a tricky one. The word was attraction. So they're meaning that a magnet has an attraction for iron or steel. Kind of tricky, huh? Number 8, you walk down this in the grocery store. This is your other spelling danger, aisle, spelled A-I-S-L-E. Okay, how are you doing so far? Hope you're doing awesome. Okay, number 9, what do you do when you close your eyes and get rid of tension and stress? I like to do this a lot, especially at the end of the day. Relax. Your answer should have been relax. Okay, and the last one, number 10. You do this when you admit to having done something wrong. The answer is confess. So when you do something wrong, you confess it to somebody and say you're sorry, right? Okay, now you need to add up your score. So all the words you got correct in the I remember the word column, go all the way to the bottom there, and you guys can see the number of correct answers I remembered. So add up your total there the first time. So if you got it without looking at your list, that score goes right there. If you had to look at your list, and so it's written on the second column, I looked at the list, and you still got it right, add those words up and put your score down there. Okay, and that's just for you to look and see which words that you know and which ones you still are having a little bit of trouble with. So awesome job. Thanks for playing that game with me today. Go ahead and meet me back in the Illuminate classroom.